Jesus used porta potties. Do you use porta potties? No, you don't. Why? Because we found out there's probably a better way to go to the bathroom.
Jordan's messages.
Thanks to Saily for sponsoring this video.
Never surrender. Never quit. I never want to see you surrender unless it's time for you to surrender. And in which case, I will tell you that it's time for you to surrender. Let's see if these questions, if the people need to surrender or to not surrender. Let's get to the messages. Hi, Jordan. December marks my 21st birthday. It's my 111th birthday. December marks my 21st birthday, and I am so confused. I have always feared alcoholic beverages because my biological father had alcoholism. So I never planned on drinking ever, but I got to thinking, and maybe I should try a drink to get over my fear. My stepdad thinks that's a great idea, but my mom thinks it's a horrible idea and said she'd always assumed I'd just never drink. I've done a little research and I think sipping one drink with food should be safe. It's a lot of research went involved with that. Additionally, Jesus drank wine with his food, so that makes me feel a bit better. But as a Christian, I'm still at a loss. I don't want to do anything to displease God. I'm praying about it and asking God what I should do. And I thought it'd be a nice idea to get a fellow Christian's perspective. Should I try to drink or not? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that I am the proper person to ask this question to because I have such an incredible aversion to this that I don't even know if it's right. The aversion that I have to alcohol is I wonder if it's a problem, Josh, to be honest, but I don't think that it is. In my heart, that's why I'm this way. But yeah, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for this because in my mind it's like look, just take God out of this, okay? Whoa. Not, but hypothetically, it's a hypothetical. Just think. Okay. What is this? How is this benefiting my life? Is there a chance that this could get out of hand? And if it does, what are the consequences to that? Okay, you can apply that to a lot of different things. Sugar, for example. Do I still have the occasional sugar? Yes, that's why my argument falls apart, Josh, and I don't know but look, okay, I don't want to, I hate the Jesus drank, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Jesus flipped over tables too. So
Jesus didn't use a real toilet.
Yes, Jesus used porta potties. Do you use porta potties? No, you don't. Why? Because we found out there's probably a better way to go to the bathroom.
I'm guessing the alcohol back in Jesus' day was probably more pure.
Like, it was basically grape juice, okay, from what I can understand. You know, my biased research. It was probably grape juice. It was probably like having kombucha. You're asking me directly, should I drink or not? I'm gonna say no. Okay, take it or leave it. I would say no. I don't know if that's a fellow Christian's perspective. I feel like that's just a fellow, that's just a fellow thinking. That's some fellow thinking, like, just giving you probably the best answer is no. If you haven't drank, I would probably just stay away from it. I'm boring, I guess, you know, whatever. I like water. I like the occasional apple cider vinegar.
This man doesn't even drink fruit juices, okay?
No, we stopped drinking the fruit juices. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, put a glucose monitor on while you drink alcohol and then tell me if it's worth it, okay? Yeah. Do the same thing with grapes. Do the same thing with figs. Raisins with the golden delicious apple, and then you'll realize how unnatural these things are, okay? They've been so modified at this point that we're screwed. Just cut it all out of your life. That's what I do. And then you know what? If you're gonna have some sugar, don't pretend that eating the raisin is much better than something else that you are like, I'm gonna break my diet. If I have a piece of cake, if I have a small piece of cake, it's gonna break my diet. If I have a small piece of pie on Thanksgiving, it's gonna break my diet. How many apples have you had? How much grape juice have you drank? How much orange juice have you had?
This girl's just like, I just wanted to know if I should drink. Now I can't have raisins.
No, I can't have raisins? So personally, no, I wouldn't drink. I don't even know if that's a Christian perspective. That is just purely my perspective. I think it's stupid. I think in my mind, in my heart, I'm like, it's wrong, but I don't actually really believe that with my heart. I do though, in my heart. So it's a conundrum, and I live that way. I don't give a care. I couldn't care less what you think of me for not drinking and for slightly judging you for drinking. I don't care. I really don't care. You know, you're already on thin ice, I feel like, as a stepdad. You're like trying to be the best possible person in the world so that everything is maybe okay. And then the daughter is like, Mom, should I drink? And the stepdad's like, definitely.
Definitely.
You should definitely. It's like, what are you doing, man? Just say no. And then if the mom says maybe, then maybe, I don't know. So just, I would say no, end of that. Okay, we've got Christmas coming up, great time of year. And if you're traveling outside of the country, this next part might be very helpful to you. If you've ever been lost abroad or badly needed an internet connection with no Wi-Fi spot in sight, you'll understand what a difference a local SIM card can make. That's where Saily comes in. It's a new eSIM service app brought to you by Nord Security. With Saily, you'll have connection where you need one. No more wandering around looking for a public Wi-Fi spot. With an eSIM, you're always connected. Over 160 countries and 8 regions are available. Buy the data before your trip and stay connected upon landing. You buy a plan, install the eSIM, activate the plan, and you're ready to travel. When I was out of the country like a few months ago, I didn't know about this, didn't have this. I got charged some money, Josh, for just an accidental text message that I sent. Really annoyed me. Now, you don't have to worry about buying a SIM card at the airport or getting scammed by fake SIM cards. Plus, no extra fees abroad, pay for what you need. And you get a full refund if it turns out that your device isn't eSIM compatible. I like going on cruises, and a service like Saily makes it much easier to sail. Get an exclusive 15% discount on Saily data plans. Go to saily.com/cow for that discount. Again, it's saily.com/cow. Now! Let's get back to the messages. Dear Taylor Brothers, I would like your input on some uncertainties that I have about a guy who likes me. The main thing that I am unsure about is how much he likes video games. I know that he likes to play M-rated first-person shooting games.
All these shooting games get an M rating these days.
Do they? And he has mentioned that growing up, his parents put restrictions on his gaming, but now that he's an adult, he doesn't care what kind of games he plays, which bothers me a bit. I don't mind if a guy plays some video games in his spare time, but if it takes any priority over family, faith, or work, then that's not okay with me. So, I would like to know how I can ask him about how much value he puts on gaming. I'm afraid that if I ask him straight up, how much do you like to play video games? Then he won't want to admit how much he really plays, just so I will like him. Aside from this concern, I think he is a pretty solid guy who is respectful, has good morals, and wants to follow Christ wholeheartedly. I would be interested in having a more serious relationship with him if this gaming thing is really not an issue. Sincerely, prioritized lady. Look. The only thing that's a slight concern is that he like kind of had it seems like he's having a reaction maybe to his parents putting a time limit on his gaming, and which, you know, is that the best idea, or do you just encourage your kids to not play video games, and then if like they start to like video games, you kind of try and divert their attention by like being more present with them, doing things with them, maybe playing baseball on the weekends instead of having them sit and play for 5 hours a day.
Too much work.
It's, you know, so but then when you see, look, it's not about the video games in my mind right now. I'm like trying to figure out, has this guy elevated his level of thinking to away from, my parents said I couldn't play video games, now I'm gonna play every M-rated video game I can find, and I'm gonna play for 5 hours a day because I'm an adult. You know, that's what we're trying to stray away from. That really, if a guy plays Halo on the weekend with his friends, I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. But if it's like, I'm talking about an overall mindset where he is reacting to how he grew up. I got a bit of a sense of that from the question, and that's what I'm more concerned about rather than him playing maybe like an hour of Halo. Maybe the guy's got a job, he wants to relax, he wants to play Call of Duty for a little bit. I don't know if that's an M-rated game.
Well, that's M-rated. I'm guessing
okay.
That's the game that he's playing.
Look, if the dude's playing Call of Duty and he's you know, okay, I don't care. What I'm saying is get a read on him and don't come at him like, how much do you like video games? Are you gonna choose me, or are you gonna choose your friends on the weekend? Like, that's not gonna go well, okay? And if you're like that, you know, God help you. It needs to be like, you need to get a read on the situation, on his mindset on life. And if his mindset on life is my parents didn't let me play video games and now I'm playing, 30 hours of video games a week. Yeah, okay, maybe not the best choice of a guy. But if the dude is just playing, Call of Duty and his parents were super legalistic and the guy's like, look, and I'm just playing Call of Duty now and I'm not gonna feel guilty about that, okay, then none of this matters.
Guys live in such a neutered culture too. Like, I feel like it's good for them to
Play Call of Duty.
to play a little, just like some sort of a violent video game.
Look, their studies, Elon Musk was just talking about their studies now that doctors who play video games actually have a higher success rate with surgeries and stuff. Like, they're
100%.
better at surgeries because they can focus and they've like played the stuff. That's just like a known thing now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So look, I don't think that it's the worst thing in the world. I played a lot of video games in the past, like a lot of video games in the past. But now that I'm an adult and I have children and I've got a lot of, things that I'm doing, that naturally kind of, because, you have transcended life in a way, you naturally kind of prioritize other things. Now, do I think about video games sometimes? Will I play with a nephew sometimes? Yeah, of course. In my heart, I'm just trying to talk this out. I feel like this isn't that big of a deal. And I think that you need to not be the person who, is trying to be super legalistic about Call of Duty.
There's a lot of people who are a little too addicted to video games.
There's a lot of, I have gotten to that level with Rocket League before. But at some point you just think, wow, it's 1 a.m. I'm still playing this. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. And you never play it again.
Like, does she have reason to be worried, or is it just, oh, I know that this happens to people, so I see him playing video games and I want him to stop.
She seems like she's in her own head too much. And this guy, she says, seems like he's a really good Christian, wholeheartedly, good morals and stuff like that. So personally, I wouldn't worry about it, okay?
I think she just doesn't like video games.
I think so too. Maybe she came from a family who didn't like video games, so...
Best thing she could do is find a game that they could play together and offer to play it. And you'll find out real quick if he's addicted to video games or not. If he's addicted to video games, he won't want to play with you. If he is not addicted to video games, he will want to play with you.
That's a good point, Josh. Great point. Maybe suggest Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like that was a pretty good answer.
All right, Jordan. How does never surrender apply to these?
Oh, geez. Yeah. So never surrender. You need to never surrender your commitment to not drinking alcohol. You need to surrender your hatred of video games. And look, you have a hatred to video games the same way I have a hatred for alcohol. So I understand the perspective. I truly do. That's an exact metaphor right
really
there.
is.
So that's why I don't have much room to talk. So, but I will never surrender that viewpoint of the alcohol. I never will. I've seen what it's done to some people, Josh. I'll never surrender. Don't be messy! And leave good messages.